say for a while now, the mainstream media is disconnected from real people. You know it and I know it. Now, what does this really say about America and the media?
Why some members of your group were in that mob, that screaming mob? Why do you do that, and what's the worthiness of that?
Well, Bill, right now what we see is the U.S. is involved in a criminal war in Iraq. It was launched illegally. It's cost hundreds of thousands of Iraqi lives. It's cost thousands of U.S. soldiers' lives. There's been a whole doctrine of preemptive war that's been codified into place, and an institutionalization of torture. These are war crimes and crimes against humanity, and if Congress is not speaking about them, so people have an obligation to step up and speak the truth and to demand a stop to these crimes.
That's your opinion, okay? And
No,
you're
those are
entitled under the
facts.
Constitution to
But
your
those
opinion.
are facts.
No, they're not facts. You
The
are a
torture
loon.
is being...
You're a lunatic. You're a lunatic. You got maybe 8% that agree with you.
No, the majority
you
of
just
the
take this
country
stuff
is
and
against this president and against this
war. The majority of the country,
war.
Ms. Taylor, with all due respect, think that you're a loon.
9/11 truth or virus.
See, now I think that Disney's got a big problem now, because you go over a certain line in America, you can't come back from that. You know, you start to accuse your own government of murder, you start to sympathize with the enemy, Iran. There's no coming back.
9/11 truth or virus.
It's known as the Bilderberg Group. Would their objective be world domination?
I'm Jim Tucker. I've chased Bilderberg for 30 years. I'll never give up the chase.
Security in this building, or do I have to come over and pick this guy down?
George Bush at the United Nations telling the people not to tolerate anyone that investigates these facts.
Let us never tolerate outrageous conspiracy theories concerning the attacks of September the 11th. Malicious lies that attempt to shift the blame away from the terrorists themselves, away from the guilty.
I guess it's un-American to investigate the facts. Let's just call it a conspiracy theory. Especially those FBI agents that have gone public about George Bush telling him not to stop Al-Qaeda.
This city and this country will not be the same. But they don't really know where to turn. And that's the very sad thing. I think there's going to be a lot of very, very traumatized people that has hit them very, very hard.
Howard Dean recently seemed to muse aloud whether you had advanced knowledge of 9/11. Do you agree or disagree with the RNC that this kind of rhetoric borders on political hate speech?
Yeah. There's time for politics. And, you know, it's time for politics. And, it's an absurd insinuation.
Now remember, President Bush has said dozens of times that no one had ever heard of a plan to fly planes into buildings. No one had ever imagined it. I've got at least 50 media reports going back to '95 about it. And every time they research it, it led back to the CIA and terrorist-funded organizations being used by this government to create the pretext for war and invasions of sovereign countries.
There were people in the United States who actually were preparing to defend against the kind of attacks which occurred here on 9/11. North American Aerospace Defense Command, NORAD for short, has been defending the skies over the U.S. and Canada for almost 50 years, 46 to be precise. USA Today reports that in the 2 years before the attacks on September the 11th, NORAD conducted exercises using hijacked airliners as weapons. One target was the World Trade Center.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street. There's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe. Our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living room. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crying in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
Yo, can you get that camera off? What's up? You can get that camera. I'm saying get the camera out of my face. That's what I'm saying. You're on the streets of New York. So what does that mean? I'm saying get that camera out of my face. That's what I'm saying. It's a free country. It's a free country. Get the camera out of my face. Well, this isn't Nazi Germany. There's no camera in your face. Hey, move to Russia.
I knew they hated us. But there was nobody in our government, at least, and I don't think the prior government that could envision flying airplanes into buildings on such a massive scale.
That turns out not to be true. U.S. military planners did envision and practice those very scenarios.
I'm not kidding. These truthers are exactly the kind of people who want to rock this nation's foundation, tear us apart, and plant the seeds of dissatisfaction in all of us.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're here in Canada today to stand up against the Bilderberg group that is attempting to get rid of the sovereignty of the United States. The truth of your world government has now been exposed. We know you are ruthless. We know you are evil. To David Rockefeller, to the Rothschild representatives here, to the Queen of the Netherlands, to all of you, we tell you, you are not our queens. You are not our kings. You are not our gods. We do not belong to you. We are not your slaves. We stand as free humans and stood from the beginning of time against the strong men, against the thugs, against the bullies. We will defeat your world government. We will defeat world taxation. We will defeat your control grid. God is on our side. I stand before the creator of the universe. And I ask the creator of the universe, as our founding fathers did in 1776, to lead, guide, and direct us, and to give us the power and the foresight and the understanding and the will to stand against your entire agenda, including your final plan of world population reduction of 80% that Henry Kissinger penned in 1973. Why do you put mercury in the vaccines? Sodium fluoride in the water? Why? Why do you put cancer viruses in the vaccines? Why have you used depleted uranium now in 4 separate nations? You're arrogant. You have the sickness that elites have had throughout history in their literal and, in some cases, figurative ivory towers. You believe that you're invincible. You will and you are failing now. Your New World Order will fall.